On our health segment today, let's talk about something that is happening to a lot of people. I had a couple of people already ask me about this, and one girl in particular today asked me about this, very concerned because she had been on a soul program for about more than a year, and all of a sudden was having a lot of issues, and she didn't know where these were coming from. So basically, what we want to keep in mind when we've been on a health program and there begin to be changes is that it's not that we no longer need the product. And the reason I say that is because that's what happened to her when she went to her doctor and said, look, I'm having all these things come up now. I'm having congestion, I'm having a hard time. Anyway, she was having a couple of things coming up health-wise. And the doctor said, well, what are you taking? And she proceeded to share what she was taking with Soul, which I think is amazing. Wouldn't it be great if all the doctors were always informed and eventually they started recommending Soul themselves? And so he looked at the ingredients and said, well, these are all good products, but have you considered the possibility that you might no longer need them? And that was that. She actually got off of them for about a couple of weeks until she got a hold of me again because I was abroad. And so this is why I'm going to talk about this today. The day we are done with adaptogens and have graduated from them, no longer need them, is the day we no longer need breakfast or lunch or dinner. That's not going to happen because we understand that eating is not just for social interaction. It's great that we have it while we eat, but it's not for that. It's not just because, that gives me something else to do in the day because I've got no time for, because I don't know, because it's just something I do in the day. No, we know that the reason we eat is because it's the way we feed our cells. It's the way our body gets what it needs to continue to do what it has been designed to do, right? So that's why we eat. So there's never going to come a time when we say, I don't need to eat anymore, I'm done with that. By the same token, there's never going to come a time when I say, I don't need adaptogens, I'm done with them. Because adaptogens are a very special kind of plant. They are the type of plant that is going to help us continue to face successfully the stress we face today. Remember, adaptogens are these plants that you are going to be able to acquire their benefits and their properties from taking them long term. What does that mean? That means that they grow in environments that very rarely will you find other plants that grow there. So when you look at these adaptogens, you're just going to say, wow, these plants are amazing, where they are harvested and how they produce themselves so easily, even though it's the dry environment, there's no water, or there's too much water, or it's not windy enough, or it's too windy. So anyway, they learn to adapt to everything that's going on around them and still flourish. So when you take them long term, they will help you do the same thing. What does that mean? That means that your environment, the things you face in life, won't change. You'll still have losses in your life. You'll still have things that hurt you. If someone betrays you, it'll still be painful. If someone dies or something that you love dies, it'll still hurt. If you are in an accident, you'll still go through the motions of feeling. Your feelings won't change towards the things that you face in life. You'll still have them, you'll still react to them. But now, you won't drown in a glass of water. You'll actually know what to do. If before these things paralyzed you, and you didn't know what to do, now it won't be like that because you have the ability to react. That's what adaptogens do for you. So, they are smart plants, and we live in a smart era. In an era where everything around us drains us because it's such a smart era. Everything does more than it's supposed to. So we need plants that do more than regular plants, and that's what adaptogens do. They help us adapt to the stressful living conditions, which will never change for us. And they help us respond without being sick about it, which is what we haven't had until now. So what happens when I've been on a program a year and all of a sudden I'm feeling sick again? And not with the same thing I started, but with something else. Does it mean that I no longer need it? What does it mean if it doesn't mean I no longer need it? Well, it means your body is strong enough and is ready to tackle something else that it had not been able to tackle until that moment. What does that mean? Well, the body actually gives out little numbers to things that are going on in your body. Like you give numbers to, like you get a number when you go to the deli. You're number 1, you're number 2, depending on what time of the day you arrived or at what moment of the day you arrived, you get a number. And if somebody beat you to it, you may be number 10, and now you have to wait. Illnesses are the same. The ones that have presented themselves in the body in a certain order, the body will address them in a certain order. And the way it addresses it is your most recent illness is addressed first and your oldest illness is addressed last. What does that mean? Well, that means that if I was asthmatic and I got rid of the asthma with conventional medicine, once I get on a natural program, that is going to come back. What? Why would I want that to happen? Well, because you never really got rid of the problem. The congestion in the bronchial tubes, the physical issue in your body biologically, whatever really happened, you didn't address. You just hid it. And in the future, it's going to come back like a degenerative illness, like something way more advanced. That's why people progress from colds to allergies to asthma to bronchitis to pneumonia and they keep going. So the body heals backwards. So you'll have all the illnesses addressed little by little, and even those you totally forgot about, they'll come back. So that now you can remove them from the body with the right method, with a natural alternative, with something that will help the body heal. So everything gets a little number. So when you started on your natural program, the body got number 1 and addressed it. And it still has 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So as time goes by, each time you feel a little stronger, you will address something different. And I know that's hard to listen to because you tell yourself, gosh, I feel so great. I don't want to address anything. But that's the way to really heal. That's the way to avoid having autoimmune illnesses, degenerative illnesses in the future. Your body will only help you clean and detox and address those issues when you're strong enough to do it. It's like when you do spring cleaning. You don't do spring cleaning every day. You actually clean your house once a week, but you don't move all the furniture. You don't move the stove, you don't move the fridge. You move the stove, you move the fridge every 2 months, I know I like to do it frequently, but usually people move it, every certain amount of weeks. And when you do, you find that, wow, look at all this stuff that fell on the side of the stove and behind it. And so you sweep and you clean and you vacuum and you mop and yay, I got rid of a whole bunch of junk. And at first it looks even worse than it, because you're moving every stuff around. It looks, wow, are you fixing something here or what? Because it looks worse. And then everything looks clean, you put everything back and everything is beautiful. That's the way our body heals. When you're strong enough to move that couch, strong enough to move that oven, strong enough to move that refrigerator, the body's going to tell you, move it. Move it because you've got stuff back here that I've got to address, that I'm going to bring out, and now you need to take care of. And so you do it. But it's only when your body is strong enough. And that's what you will hear or read about a lot frequently. That's called a healing crisis. They have another name for it as well. They have a lot of different names for it. Some people believe in healing crises, some people don't. The point is, your body lets you heal when you are strong enough to heal. So you may have one issue, let the body address it. When it gets better, don't be scared of the fact that now you're having to address something else. Don't tell yourself the product isn't working. Don't believe that it's the product not working. Adaptogen plants will always work. Read up on them, inform yourself. You'll learn that that is the case. They will always work. There will never come a time when you don't need them. So the time will come when you'll need to do something else to address your health because now you're strong enough for it. So instead of choosing things that are intoxicate you again, meds that will cause all these second side effects that are negative, look for healthy alternatives. So if you're going through this, you've been on a program and now you're finding that something is happening and you're sick, don't think it's you don't need them. Talk to the person who got you going on your program, and they will more than happily help you to address a little bit of changes that you might have to do, something else that you didn't think of doing, some other adaptogen that you might be needing that you're not taking, etc. So if you found this video because you were searching on YouTube, please leave me a message. I'll help you. Join my channel, my YouTube channel. Ask questions. I have a health segment where I address different thoughts and different questions for the benefit of all of us. And if you got this video because someone shared it with you, then obviously ask them, because they are more than capable of helping you address whatever it is you're facing now. And remember, our body is smart. It will never do anything to harm us. So work with it all the time. And when it reacts, listen to it and work helping it to move the furniture, to move the oven, to clean behind there, and then you'll be ready and strong again, and you'll feel well again for the next little number that's going to come across and say, hey, I'm number 3, so that you can continue to address past illnesses and return to being and staying healthy. So join me for future segments, and thank you for listening.